Despite being the fastest man alive, Barry Allen, aka The Flash, played by Grant Gustin, was unable to outrun the coronavirus in 2020. Season 6 of the CW series was cut short due to the cast and crew being unable to finish filming the final few episodes, forcing episode 19 to become the makeshift season finale. It functioned as an effective cliffhanger, considering Iris West mysteriously vanished. That was back in May of 2020, and fans have been waiting with bated breath to discover her fate. Fortunately, the season's endgame became a little clearer with the return of The Flash on March 2, 2021. While we've technically now jumped to Season 7 of the series, the first episode picks up right where Season 6, Episode 19 left off, so it won't be long until we get the thrilling conclusion of Flash going toe-to-toe with Mirror Master, played by Everett Dorr. When that battle does commence, however, Team Flash will be short one member. Season 7 didn't waste any time raising the stakes, and it did so in a pretty intense fashion by offering someone the Flash fans have been well acquainted with over the last few years. Suffice to say, plenty of viewers were upset by the death, especially coming on the heels of Green Arrow's recent departure from the franchise he launched. At least this character said goodbye to the Flash with a fitting tribute.
For the Flash to run again, Nash Wells must die.
Tom Cavanagh's character Harrison Wells has gone through an interesting progression throughout the first 6 seasons of The Flash. He starts off as your average mentor-turned-villain in disguise before returning to the show via the multiverse. Most recently, the Council of Wells found themselves within the head of the only remaining physical version of Wells, who goes by Nash after the Crisis on Infinite Earths event. In Season 7, Episode 1, Barry loses his access to the Speed Force, and the only way he can get it back is for Nash, and thereby all of the Harrison Welleses in the multiverse, to die.
How can I be the Flash without a Wells on this team?
Barry pleads with Nash not to go through with it, but Nash makes the ultimate sacrifice play so that Flash has a chance of stopping Mirror Master.
You've always been the Flash. You always will be. With or without me.
Cavanagh has been with the series since the very beginning. He may have embodied different versions of the same character, but his presence was practically always a given. It looks like that could change for the future of The Flash, and fans have been pretty emotional about the loss. After all, every version of Wells across every dimension supposedly died, so it really seems like this is the end of his tenure on the series. One fan gave the character a proper tribute by writing, "For 6 seasons, Tom Cavanagh was one of the best parts of the show. We will always have the Wells goodbye parade." Another Twitter user points out that everything came full circle with his demise. It's funny how a version of Harrison Wells was responsible for Barry getting his powers, and now another version of Harrison Wells made sure that Barry kept his powers. Some other comments directed toward Wells include, "I was not prepared for how much of an emotional roller coaster this episode would be." Another user praised Cavanagh, writing, "Tom Cavanagh as the multiple Harrison Wells has always been Emmys worthy. The Flash just won't be the same without some version of Harrison Wells around. So is it possible he could come back? Death is rarely the end in comic book properties. Superman, Batman, and even the other Flash, Wally West, all bit the dust in the comics only to be resurrected shortly thereafter. Considering multiple versions of Harrison Wells have already died on the show, it's understandable some fans may be suspicious of the sacrifice. One fan speculated, "As much as I feel like they've overplayed the whole multiple Harrison Wells storyline, I don't think they'll just kill him off." These kinds of fans have good reason not to feel too down in the dumps yet. As the Flash showrunner since Season 6, Eric Wallace has pretty much confirmed actor Tom Cavanagh will return in some capacity in the future. He told TV Insider, "Everybody unhappy that their favorite Wells character or characters is dead, never to be seen, won't have long to wait because Tom Cavanagh is still part of this show." He goes on to hint how it, quote, "won't take very long for his return in an unexpected new way." There you have it. Harrison Wells isn't gone for good quite yet. It remains to be seen how unexpected his return ends up being. After all, this is a character we've seen as a French detective, a cyborg, and a wizard, so it will take a lot to truly surprise Flash fans at this point. With the multiverse at its disposal, the show can be as creative as it needs to be to keep an actor as great as Cavanagh on board. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite superhero shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.